Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your Uncle Oski here. How you doing? Let's go for a walk. So, currently, it is 2 days after Memorial Day. And now, Memorial Day, let me tell you guys something, right? Memorial Day, for, I can imagine most corporations, is probably the first real day off of the year. And I'm not counting New Year's. We're not doing that, right? Pretty much from January, skipping through February, March, and April, there's no real holidays. There's no real, real day to have off. I mean, like, we have holidays, like, there's Valentine's Day, MLK Day, St. Patty's Day, yada, yada, right? But here in the States, most jobs don't have those days off. Like, there's no, there's no, like, God, I can't wait till St. Patty's Day for that 3 day weekend. Like, we don't get that. We don't get that here, right? So, most of our holidays here are, shifted towards the end of the year, from Thanksgiving to Christmas, going into New Year's, right? So, most of the time, most people take their vacations in the summer. That's typically their travel season, right? But man, let me tell you something, right? After going through most of the year without a 3 day weekend, unless you're using some sort of PTO or whatever, having that huge dry spell really fucks you up. By the time you get to Memorial Day, like, you are so burnt out, man. At least I am, and at least, most of my friends are. I mean, most of the time, by April, dude, every time I look around, most people are like dead on their feet, pretty much. But something I noticed this year, obviously I've been a lot more busy with work, doing certifications, trying to find another job, doing more YouTube stuff. I've been very busy, but man, it really is crazy that we I get that, looking back through history, a 40-hour work week, 40 hours a week, 5 days of work with some overtime, who knows, maybe some weekend work, depending on the job. Like, we have it good, right? In comparison to, the days of old, right? Where you're just, a serf for your entire life, or you got to work every single day. And most of the time, you didn't even get paid. But throughout modern history, right? Like, this whole 40-hour work week, God, imagine this whole 40-hour work week, like, it's pretty new, but like, we've gotten to the point where, at least I feel this way, like, and I know some older people might be like, hey, look at the young people bitching about stuff again, right? But like, this happens every time we have a 3 day weekend. Like, the following week of work will typically end up being one of my best performing weeks, because I've had that extra day off, and like, I feel like it's because, one, I have more time to myself. So like, when I get back to work, I don't have that feeling of like, oh man, like, here we go again, giving up my time. Like, I honestly come back super ready to work, and like, what else really helps me is the fact that, like, I get to sleep more. Like, I have another day where I don't have to wake up to an alarm. And like, yes, the first day going back is always pretty rough. Like, Tuesday was rough waking up to an alarm again, but that comes with the territory. I'm not someone who can naturally just wake up on a consistent schedule. Like, I always have to set an alarm. My sleep issues are a whole separate other video. I'll definitely make a video on that one day, but it really is crazy noticing how much my productivity, how much my mood, how much my, willingness to work, like, everything is just up right now, like, I feel, it still feels like the week is going slow, but like, at the same time, it's like, oh, well, there's only now, like, I'm recording this on Wednesday. Oh, there's only 2 more days. And then I get the weekend again, right? Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm finally performing really well. And like, I can only imagine what this would do to me if I had it every week. You know, like if we had, and I know in a lot of other countries they've moved to the 4 hour work, the 4 day work week, and like there are some benefits there. Like I really feel like if this was consistent, like if I was consistently just working 4 days a week and had, you know, the other 3 days to really, and I mean really, let go and relax and be able to do the things that I want to do, get more sleep, spend more time with family, you know, spend more time on my hobby. Dude, I feel like even like if we had a 4 day work week, I feel like I wouldn't be as hard pressed about studying outside of work because, you know, some jobs will let you take an hour a day to study, like my job does, but it's really like if you have time, you can study an hour during the day, during your shift, right? But like realistically, we don't have that fucking time. Like I'm like 10 projects deep. There's no way I'm finding an hour to study. You know what I mean? Like there's no way I'll get approval to actually study for that amount of time, right? So I feel like if I had if I had 3 days to myself, I feel like there'd even come a point in time where I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to dedicate 1 day to studying for certificates, for work. Like, and it wouldn't feel as bad or soul sucking because, you know, like if you're working Monday through Friday and you try to take like Saturday to study, you feel like you're gypping yourself of a day to relax. Even worse if you do it on Sunday because you're like, really? So Saturday was my only day to fully relax? You know what I'm saying? So it really does feel like, and maybe this isn't everyone, right? But like I really feel like I could benefit from this, even if it's like, you know, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, we should have 32-hour work weeks, but I'm like, you know, dude, I'd even do 4 days, 10 hours each to still get to 40. Like, would those days suck? Yeah, but like as a single man, you know, I don't have pets, kids. Like, I feel like for someone like me, it would be a huge benefit and not much drawback. Like, you know, when it comes to like cooking, like I prep meal a lot of my meals because I'm trying to slim down. Like, it really does feel like this would be something that would like exponentially boost my quality of life, but also boost my productivity at work. Like, I'm not someone who loves work. I don't love working. Like, you'll find very few people who are hard pressed to wake up every morning and like sit there and just thank God that they have their job. In the sense of like, you know, I love this shit so much, bro. I love my job so much. I cannot wait to go. Like, that's really, there's very few jobs that are like that, dude. And there's very few people who are satisfied, you know, just working all the time. Very few. Besides, you know, a lot of the performative people you see on social media, you know. We're not even going to touch on that, but like, dude, like, really, like, I understand from a business standpoint why a lot of companies won't do that. But goddamn, dude, like, the work productivity would go up so much. And now I get it, right? Would there eventually come a time, maybe generations from now, where they're like, I hate working 4 days a week. We should do less. Like, yeah, I get that. But like, for the time being, like, the common worker really needs an injection of like just something to ease the burden of working all the time, because people are so sick of it. And like, people just feel like they're dead on their feet. You know, maybe that's a good idea for your future video. The great tiring. You know what I mean? Like, people are just so tired, and like, even taking a day extra to yourself, I feel like would just really, really boost morale. But like, who knows? I mean, who knows? Because here in America, I doubt we'll ever get that unless a revolution comes. But I know, anecdotally, I haven't researched any statistics on this or anything, but like anecdotally, like for me myself, like I see the benefits of it so much, and like I'm closing out like tickets left and right. Like I'm making so much progress with my projects that I never probably would have made because I would have been way too tired and I probably would have dragged out the work, But like, I don't know, something to think about. I mean, dude, I, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. This would really help employee morale, I feel like, and like, man, something's got to give eventually, so might as well do it peacefully. If you're these big companies, like read the room. People are ready to riot. Like just let's get the 4-day work week going and see what happens. I wish companies would at least attempt a test run or something, because I feel like we could all really use it, and I feel like it would be a good trade off. You know what I mean? Like I feel like companies would get like a huge uptick in worker production because their employees are happy. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed that equation works out that way, But, who knows if we'll ever get that here in America. So, for now, just continue the grind. Continue the grind, I guess. Thank you guys for listening. Until our next take, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.